My name is Eddie C, and welcome to my positive podcast. I'll bring you positive stories of people from all walks of life because everyone has a story to tell. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to MPP. I'm your host, Eddie C, and this is episode 12 of my positive podcast. Today, we're going to talk about joyful. I've had a joyful week. The weather's, like I said, it's been fantastic the last days. We've had this nice, warm, sunny weather, and now it's actually going to rain, so it's going to cool off a little bit, which is also pretty good because it's positive for the plants and for nature. Today, I've got three wonderful, joyful guests on my show. My first guest is a young lady who's a hypnotist, and she's also a dietitian. My second guest is into construction, but he's also a fantastic bass player. And my third guest is a model, but a fantastic entrepreneur. If you're curious about their stories, tune in and stay positive. My name is Eddie C, and you're listening to my positive podcast. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my first guest is a lovely friend of mine that we met some years ago, actually at a jazz concert. There was a nice click, very spiritual-minded person and very positive-minded. She's an international registered hypnotist, and she's a nutrition coach. Positivity is really her thing, and I really wanted to have her on one of my shows. So please welcome my first guest, Miss Sandra Bakker. Hey, Sandra, how you doing?
Hi. Well, I'm doing great. The sun is shining, so I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fine. Also because of the great weather, good vibes. That's, what more can you ask for?
Very nice. You're looking good.
Thank you. You too. You changed your hair, I see.
Yeah, it's a little bit darker.
Yeah, looks nice. It looks nice.
Thanks.
Well, listen, can you tell my listeners a little bit about your background and how you got involved as becoming a hypnotist?
Well, I always worked at the office, and I didn't have satisfaction from my work anymore for actually a few years. So I started working less, but that didn't help. So I got back to study, and I studied for a hypnotherapist because I know how powerful your unconsciousness is. And I have my practice now for 6 years. And after I studied for a hypnotherapist, I studied for an NLP coach. Therapeutic NLP coach, so you can help people in a big way. And then a nutrition coach, and now I'm studying for a stress and burnout coach. So, but it's not all about the studies. It's all about positivity and the way you think and your mindset and your way of living and how you're looking at life and how you live your life. That's all about it.
Well, can you go a little deeper into how the whole hypnotist thing works, therapy? Because it's different than, watching some kind of show where a guy with a top hat comes on the stage and goes abracadabra,
Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah, that's more show hypnosis. And I use it only for therapeutic things. And I first have long conversations with my clients, coaching conversations. With the NLP, I can read a lot of things from people, from how they move their eyes or their face or their body language. And from all that information, we do in one session also the hypnotherapy. And in hypnotherapy, we work with different ways of getting someone hypnotized. And I work with the combination of relaxation and focus.
Okay.
And then your left and your right brain start to work in a different way together. And that brings you in a trance, and that trance goes deeper. And if you go deeper in that trance, you're coming in a hypnosis. And then if you're in hypnosis, your subconsciousness is open. So you're not critic anymore you don't think about things anymore. You lose track of time and you don't think about what I say. All that I say comes in your mind in a deeper level. So that's why some people just need a few sessions and making big steps.
Okay. Can you, not to talk about any particular patients, but have you had patients where you had right away the results, or does it take, let's say, so many sessions before a person becomes, let's say, more or less healed from their ailment, whatever it is, or that they can get it under control?
Well, you can name thousands of subjects and complaints and pain things and the way people want to change. And I had all of them in my practice from
Hmm. Okay.
from eating too much chocolate to depression and all of things in between.
Oh, really?
And well, one funny story is that one lady, she was addicted to the gummy bears. You know, those little candy gummy bears.
Oh, yes. I had a slight addiction with gummy bears as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was eating them all
Oh,
day. And
wow.
when she went on a holiday, they had to come with her, and she couldn't stay away from them, and she had to buy them. And whenever she sees them, and she was like a fan of gummy bears.
Okay.
And she wanted to change her lifestyle. So yeah, of course, gummy bears don't fit in that lifestyle.
Absolutely not.
So so she went. She came to me and she was like, "Yeah, it's a bit of a weird story, but this is it." And she had 2 sessions, and she never ate them again.
Wow. Oh, fantastic.
She wasn't even interested. She wasn't even looking at them. She wasn't thinking about them. It was just out of her system.
Oh, wow. Well, I only have that once in a blue moon that I feel like having some gummy bears, so I don't think I need to be hypnotized for that.
Well, you don't look like you eat a lot of gummy bears.
No, no. There was a time when I looked like a gummy bear myself, but those days, those days are behind me now. Uh, the change of lifestyle.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you're doing nowadays? I mean, you've come quite a ways, and of course, you've had a big impact with the COVID situation that we're slowly seem to be getting out of. That must have really had a big effect with your work as well.
Yeah, of course. Mostly I do personal coaching, and I also give courses about how to get a healthy lifestyle and trainings about how to make the best version of yourself to groups of people. So that was just something that couldn't be done anymore. That was forbidden. And the first lockdown, a lot of people, like 90%,
Hmm.
called off their appointment in my practice. So that was very stressful for me. And I had a few online sessions because I can do everything online. But well, it took 2 months and then people slowly started to come back. And
Hmm.
well, I was very happy, of course, because now I'm studying for being a stress and burnout coach. But I had a lot of stress back then.
Okay, you're getting to know it firsthand as well.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
been on both
certainly.
sides of the
And then
road, as we say.
years ago, I had a burnout myself, so I really know how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Is this part of a total package that you offer to your clients, or is it like, are there separate, different, let's say, packages that you can give them a combination of hypnotism and with healthy lifestyle, or, you know, how do you approach that?
Well, it's what people want. Some people want the whole package, and then we'll make a plan. And some people just want one thing, like hypnotherapy or just NLP coaching. Or just Fit and Slank. That's the franchise formula I work with for getting a healthy lifestyle. And that's okay. Some people don't want the whole package, but that's okay. And people have to do what makes them feel good. I'm actually not really selling anything to people because I always look at the person, and some people don't have the time or the motivation, and that's okay too, because you can help them in their way and their level.
Right. Getting back into your hypnotist thing, because that's actually what you started. And now you're doing the coaching for people that are depressed and
Yes.
burnout.
Also, yeah.
Is there, like, from the different sections that you're working with, is there one in particular that you say, well, this is really my thing?
I think the combination, what I do with NLP and hypnotism, I see that it's very powerful because you work with the consciousness and the subconsciousness in one session, and people
Hmm.
get get to do self reflection and insights about themselves, and then we work with that in their subconsciousness. So that's why some people need just a few sessions to get on their feet again.
So you want to explain to my listeners what NOP is?
NLP is neuro linguistic programming, and well, it's just more than coaching. It's also about how you look at life and how you solve problems, and that you open your mind so that there's not one solution to something, no, but there are 10 solutions. And the way you look at yourself, and talking techniques, how you can make a good conversation. And a lot of people don't know that, how they can tell something or get something done from a colleague or something. Yeah, and it's so much more than that. It's also a little bit physical part of how we are as human beings, why we do what we do. Well, you see that there's a lot of things that people do actually the same, but in their own way. So yeah, with grief, for example, we have grief is something that you have to go through, and we all go through that same line, but everyone does it in their own way.
Hmm. During the COVID time, of course, a lot of people have lost loved ones during that period. Have you had some of your clients that were online that had to deal with that, or?
No, but I had a lot of people who had a lot of stress about the whole situation.
Hmm.
And still, because people now come in my practice with a lot of different problems and things, but next to that, they also are still going through a lot of stress from the whole thing. It was a weird year for everyone, and mothers were working at home with the little children around them, and a lot of marriages are broken because the husband was home all day and normally he's gone, and stuff like that, and people had a lot of stress about it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Well, it was a very difficult time for a lot of people, and you have to really be able to
Yeah,
stand firm in your shoes and really every day take a dose of positivity. And when you wake up in the morning and say, hey, let's make the best of it.
but I always say to my clients is, when you wake up in the morning, name three things you are grateful about,
Absolutely.
because gratefulness is one of the most warm emotions we can feel as a human being. And if you're grateful about, we have water flowing into our house from the shower. I mean, it's a luxury.
Absolutely. We did actually a show about that. Was one of our first shows that we did was about being grateful. Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you think of three things that were positive about that day. And that is how you train your brain to be positive and thankful and live a joyful life.
Absolutely. I want to touch on the food thing for a minute with you because I know you're also doing a lot
Mhm.
with nutrition.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you're doing, let's say, to help your clients with outside? Is there special dieting type? Are you working with fasting? Are you working with, or you have any particular style of, let's say, of direction that you give to your clients?
Well, we don't work with a diet because diets don't work.
I'm glad you said that. I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah, because you can better have a healthy lifestyle and eat everything, so you get everything you need. If you give your body what it needs, then your body is happy, and then you will have a healthy weight also, and you will have energy and you will feel good. So what we do is we give clients a lot of information about what is healthy food,
Right.
because a lot of people don't know that anymore because of all the commercials and what you see in the supermarkets uh, on the packages. It's like healthy, this is a healthy snack, or less sugar, or a 0% fat, and you think, oh, that's healthy and I'll buy that. But if you look at the back of the product, then you see that it's not healthy.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know that.
Well, actually, it was said during the pandemic, when it was in its very beginning phase, and of course, everybody was hoarding all the food out of the grocery shops.
Yeah,
The healthy stuff,
toilet
yeah,
paper.
yeah, toilet paper and stuff, but food, but as far as food was concerned, actually, all of the healthy stuff got left behind.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, and so there was the fast foods, there was a lot of the frozen foods, everything which was unhealthy, everybody was buying. And if you went to the shop, actually, it was the healthy stuff that that you saw left behind.
That's weird. That's because people don't know what it can do to your body if you have a healthy lifestyle. All my clients who start a healthy lifestyle in my practice, after 2 weeks, they all say, I feel so much better. I feel so much more positive. I have so much more energy. Just because your body is a perfect working machine. And if you give it what it needs, then it's happy. And then you're happy.
Oh, absolutely. You want to eat food that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
if your body is happy, you are happy.
That's
And then
right.
it's easier to have positive thoughts too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're getting down to our last question, which is our theme, and it's joyful. What does joyful mean for you?
Well, joyful means actually a lot for me. And being joyful is being open. Being joyful is being happy. Being joyful is grateful. And being joyful, thinking about what you do every day and if you have a purpose in life. That is what joyful means to me. And I think a lot of people should have a purpose in life because that makes you you and that makes you happy. And maybe it's your job why you came here on earth to do what you do, to be who you are. And then you have a joyful life.
hmm What are some of the things that are directly personal? This is, of course, a general feeling, which I think a lot of listeners probably have. But I'm talking for you as a person. What are some of the things that, like your dog, maybe, for example?
Yeah, my dog is great and my horse is great. But you get to make the choices of your own life. You get to write your own book. And that's really what I believe. And what I believe also is the law of attraction. What you think you attract.
Absolutely.
And if you think good things and good people come in your way. And example, my horse, he's 25 years old now, and I have him for almost 22 years.
Wow.
And I still ride on him, and that's a lot of joy. And my little dog on Insta,
Okay.
he's very joyful. He's 100% joyful. He's always happy.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So, and just to have a good life, do the work you love. I love my work. My work is my passion. So that's also important for me. And well, I have a lot of good friends, nice family. I have a nice home. And I just love everything about it. And of course, I have dreams and some things can be better. But that doesn't mean that your life is not joyful.
That's quite true. You don't need much to have a joyful life. It boils down to the basic necessities.
That's right. And I think you find peace also as well if you look at it, look at life that way.
I believe that as well. Well, it's like it's funny. A lot of people collect a lot of things, and I know I've been in that position myself some years ago. I collected so much stuff, and now I've got a garage full of material that a lot of stuff I'm giving away, and other stuff, of course, is essential for me to keep because my whole career as a musician, the records and the CDs and everything, I want to hold on to, and there's a lot of videotapes and stuff, but I'm trying to get those all digitized now. So, bringing things down, downsizing, creating a compact lifestyle, and that's also a lot less stress as well. If you want to live,
I
you want to
know,
live
yeah.
joyful, that's very important.
Yeah.
Right, right. Well, when you're cleaning your house, you're cleaning your mind as well, because that's something less you got to focus on.
Throwing things away you don't use.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for touching base with me, and I'm glad that we're interesting job is. And if there's a website, I'm sure that you have, and I can post that on my page for you,
Thank
so
you.
that the listeners can come in contact with you.
Thank you very much.
Are there any last words you want to say to people out there that are looking for a joyful lifestyle?
Of course, I have. Be happy, be grateful, be positive. Don't let yourself get out of balance by people, by situations. Stick close to yourself and life is beautiful.
All right, on those words, Sandra, I want to thank you so very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
This is My Positive Podcast with Eddie C. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my second guest is a dear buddy of mine. We hang out together from time to time and have a nice drink and talk about life. He's also a fantastic bass player, and he does it as his hobby. But he's actually into construction work. Please welcome my second guest, Sandor Streef. Hey, Sandor, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I had to laugh because you were telling me about your name, and a lot of people know you as Sandor Streef. How did it come about?
Well, it's a funny story. I used to play with a violin player, and his name was Josje Monitz, which was not his real name, by the way. He had a typical Dutch name, and it was Joop Moens. And when we played together, just for fun, he sort of changed my name to Sandor Reinhardt, but it sounded better, according to him. But I've been using that name for so long now as a sort of artist name that people now know me as Sandor Reinhardt Streef, which is sort of a combination of my real name and my stage name, so to say. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell my audience a little bit more about your background, because I met you at a club once when I was performing with my duo, and I knew you actually as a bass player, but I didn't know your actual job. You had mentioned something lightly about it, but can you later on you explained it to me, but can you tell my listeners a little bit more about your actual job that you're doing?
The actual job, well, as you said, I'm a bass player, but unfortunately, I was never able to make a living from just playing music. And that was my goal. But because it never quite worked out the way I expected to, I did all sorts of different jobs and ended up working for a construction company.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us something about the other jobs that you did?
Well, my first job was I worked as a taxi driver. And back in those days, I studied at the conservatory in Hilversum. Mm-hmm. And I didn't finish that, by the way. I only studied there for about 2 years. But I had no financial support or help from my parents at the time. So I had to do a job on the side, and I started to work as a taxi driver. And I sort of gave myself 2 years maximum to see if I could make it as a musician. But after 2 years, I still wasn't making enough money to pay the bills. So I ended up working on a taxi for a few years. And after that, I had some jobs. I worked at a party ship, a party boat. I was a DJ there.
All right.
I worked in a discotheque as a bartender, and then I thought, well, I'd better find a regular job, and I ended up at a trading company in Rotterdam. And after that, I applied for a job at a construction company, even though I have no education or experience in that field whatsoever. But they gave me a chance, and I worked there, and I learned the construction business. But in 2007, I got fired because of the banking crisis. So things went downhill. And then I had to come up with something else to do to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. And I decided to start my own little company. And together with my then girlfriend, we bought apartments, one at a time, to be honest, and renovated, and then hopefully sell it on with a profit. And that went quite well.
Oh, wow.
And there was also a time that I realized that I could again maybe start to make music again, because I for a few years I had no time at all to make music. But now, because I'm working for myself as an independent contractor, I can sort of determine which hours to work and which days. So therefore I can also do some gigs. So it's in the end it worked out very well.
Okay.
But of course, back then it was a very stressful period because, a lot of things were uncertain. But that's sort of how I wrote in that. Yeah.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit more about the actual job itself? Because you're working as an independent. I think you mentioned estimations and... Yeah,
that's right. The company I worked for, I did estimation. So if people wanted to have a certain building made, it was usually company buildings we did. And then I did all the calculations and gave them an estimate, and it became an order if they actually decided they wanted us to do the job for them. Then I also did all the preparation work, all the calculation, and also on site to oversee the project. Yeah.
I know your passion is with your bass guitar. I know you love to play every moment you get, because whenever you come to visit me at my place, my bass guitar is occupied.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, music is fun. As I said before, I dreamt of becoming a professional musician. Maybe when I was a boy, I dreamt of becoming a rock star, as many young kids do, I think. But once you grow older, you sort of realize it's not a very realistic goal. But I am fortunate that I still get to play with some great professional musicians, and I'm always surprised that they want to play with me. It's fun. It gives life sort of extra joy.
Sure. You commute from Holland back and forth to Belgium because you're actually living basically in two different places. Half the time you're in Antwerp and the other half the time you're in Tolen. Is that the name of the place you're living?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That's also in the area of Zeeland.
In Zeeland, in the Netherlands. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's also sort of a coincidence that I ended up in Antwerp, because in 2008, because of the banking crisis, the housing prices also went down dramatically. But I've heard that the housing prices in Antwerp were very stable. So that's why I decided to buy an apartment there. And it was actually not an apartment. It was just an empty space in a warehouse. And I made that into an apartment, and I renovated. I worked there for about a year. And then I decided, well, I'll just go and live there for a while myself and then sell it on in about 3 or 4 years, hopefully making a profit. But the thing was, I had so much fun living in Antwerp that I decided to stay. So that's why I now commute between Antwerp and the Netherlands, because it was just, I like it there. I don't know exactly why, but it sort of felt like home somehow. I don't know, yeah.
It's a fun city. It's a cozy. And even though it's a city, it has a sort of like village kind of thing as well.
Exactly. It's not too big, and sort of, yeah. Someone once said to me, Antwerp is like a city in the Netherlands in the 50s, sort of that feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very cozy city, a fun city to hang out, and a lot of nice places to visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But compared to where you're living, let's say, for example, in Tolen, that's really kind of completely closed off. You're like in the middle of nowhere. I remember coming to visit you, and I was going like, okay, where is the house? And then I see this little village, which is like one little street, basically.
Yeah, it's a culture shock when you come from Antwerp. But that's also, there are always different periods in your life, I think. And when I decided to move to this little village in Zeeland, I moved there from Rotterdam. And I also enjoyed Rotterdam. I lived there for about 8 years. Mm-hmm. But there was a point I started to get irritated by all the noise and the parking problems. And so I thought I'm going to move. And I found this house in a little village in Zeeland, which was very cheap at the time, because I had a small apartment in Rotterdam, and I sold that apartment. And with the money I got from the small apartment, I could buy the house, a big house. You've been there, in Zeeland,
Yeah, it's a nice place, yeah.
Yeah, and back then it was also quite remote, because there was no A4. The highway was not built yet. Mm-hmm. And now it's much better connected to Antwerp and Rotterdam, because the A4 highway has now been built, and it goes from Antwerp all the way to Rotterdam.
So you have about a 45-minute drive now, basically.
Yeah, it's about a 45-minute drive to Antwerp, and also about 45 minutes to the center of Rotterdam.
Okay.
So it's very quiet. So I still
fantastic.
I'm in Zeeland now, and especially now it's a very hot day, very hot summer day. Then it's nice to be here. Then we went for a swim with the dog, and
fantastic, man. That's fantastic.
Really nice.
Well, I've got one more question for you, which is the theme of our show, and it's called Joyful. And I would like to know, what does joyful mean for you?
It can be very simple things that can you make joyful. Listening to good music, especially when the music touches me emotionally, that's fantastic. and sometimes a tear goes down my cheek. And not because I'm sad, but because I really enjoy the music then, if it's really nice. Playing music, of course, is maybe even nicer, also gives you joy. But also very simple things like just going for a walk with the dog and my girlfriend, that's also joy. And hanging out with a friend, having a nice conversation, enjoying a nice meal. It can be very simple things, but I do think you need those moments in life to get you through life, because life is not always, this ideal, happy play. So the circumstances are sometimes difficult.
Absolutely.
But when you have things to look forward to, like playing a nice gig or hanging out with some friends or having a nice meal, then yeah. But as I said, even going for a walk with the dog can be joyful to me. Absolutely.
All right. What would you advise to young people today in this world? Because we had the whole pandemic thing behind us, and there is finally the light at the end of the tunnel, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell young people that want to pursue, let's say, their dream or their to be, for example, a musician or play bass or whatever? What would be your advice in this day and time?
Well, I would say try to achieve your goal, but if it doesn't turn out the way you want, find something else that it's not a bad thing if these things don't work out as you wanted them. If in the end, for me personally, in the past, I've worried much too much. I was always worried will I have enough money or will I get another job? And in the end, it all sort of worked out. But of course, you have to take a chance once in a while. So if you stay at home, sitting on the couch, waiting for someone to ring the doorbell to bring you a big bag of money, that's not going to, it's not going to happen. But of course, if you do take a chance, and for example, if you start your own business, you have to put in your savings, and things can go wrong as well, But if you don't do anything, you're certain you're not going to get ahead. So I would say take a chance, go for it, try it.
All right, man. On those words, I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing your story, and wish you a lot of love, brother. And of course, we'll see each other soon in Antwerp and hang out for sure. All right, buddy. All right. Thanks again for coming on the show, and we'll see each other soon.
It was my pleasure, man.
All righty.
Talk to you soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is My Positive Podcast with Eddie C. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my final guest on today's show is a very lovely young lady that I met not too long ago when I was doing one of my photo sessions with a colleague of mine. She's originally from Panama. She's a business entrepreneur, does a lot of modeling, and she's just a wonderful person to be around, has a great aura. Please welcome Miss Michelle Dapena. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing?
Hi, Eddie. Nice to see you here. I'm glad. Thank you.
Nice to see you again as well. I really enjoyed our photo session that we did recently.
Yes.
Lovely photos, and they'll be available on Facebook, some of them, so that you can see how lovely this lady is as well. So I'm going to get right into the questions so that our listeners can know a little bit more about you. So can you tell a little bit about your background and how did you get into modeling and how did you end up in Antwerp, actually? I'm sure that's quite a story to tell.
Yes. Yeah. I have a very interesting story, but it will be too long to explain here. But I'm a person, I'm from Panama. My name is Michelle Dapena, and basically, my background in Panama, I did always, since young age, I did a business in the area of waste management and in modeling, of course. I always find out that artist level in a good way is very important, and to keep the good image is also important. We have not to have doubts if we are workers of mother and modeling. It should be just natural thing for everyone, and I found for myself that why not, even in a young age and also in the old age,
All right. How did you get started, the whole business thing, because you're working online for a large part? How did you get started with it?
Yes, that's my side business. But basically in Panama, I did a waste management business. So it was about recycle and transportation and And so we did a lot of work. And there were a time in my life that I say, enough is enough. So I started very young age when I was 18, 19. And I finished my first company in 2008, and I decided to fly to Israel. And yes, I want to make gear and army and all this crazy stuff when you are in the young age. So I was very powerful girl.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, after that I came to Belgium. Well, I was around Belgium. I was basically in Spain, London, Italy. So I was going around because basically I worked too hard since young age, and I want to enjoy life also.
Mm-hmm.
And I fall in love with Belgian guys, so that's why I have my first boy here. So my life changed completely. Yes,
all right.
I couldn't leave my country, so I'm in love with the chocolate, the Belgian chocolate.
Okay.
That was nothing. That's what's hot.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When you started doing the modeling, how did that come about?
Yes, that combination with my business and modeling, because I did commercials and I was Miss Teen International in Panama, from Panama in Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. So yes, I did a lot of work since I was young. And so basically that's my way of living. So until today, we are doing the same business and modeling. And I think it's a good opportunity if you can you can deal both. If you can have a boat, why not?
Yeah, sure.
And if it's still you have the beauty of you have something interesting, like for example, I'm exotic look. So I think it's nice for pictures. So why not? At the beginning, I tell you the truth, after my first son, I say, no, let's stop all this. But then after they say, why I should stop? Why women in my age cannot modeling? I mean, we in every age we are so beautiful and shiny and everything. So we have to enjoy. Yeah, that's my mind here. And basically here in Belgium, we are doing the same. I work with a lot of photographs and I want to go a little bit more forward. Of course, nobody knows me yet. In my country, everyone knows me. Here, I'm building up a career.
Sure.
And so that's my business size. I do now. I'm an ambassador of Business Bombshell. It's a vegan concept. It's very nice for all types of skin, all kind of age.
Okay.
And yes, we are working and at that point. So I'm very happy and enjoy the extra. Yes.
Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Yes, about the bombshell business.
Yes.
Well, it's very interesting because normally we always look for this kind of big products of Christian Dior or Lancome or Chanel, of all this, but it's so full of chemicals, and I find it rude for our skin. So we should go more in the concept of vegan. I find it that today we really need, not just because for ourselves, also for the damage we are doing to the ecosystem and also for the animals. The respect as a humans we should have for animals, we should not touch anymore.
Exactly.
Anything related with animals anymore, really, because you see how much problems we have until today. But okay, we can help a little bit with the small things, and I think all the beauty queens we have in this world, we should change a little bit for the nice product we can bring to the environment in a good way.
That's a great initiative.
I find it important, yes. So basically, this is a very nice concept. And I just started 2 months ago because they find me because of my Instagram page and my modeling pictures. And they told me, yeah, we need the face like you, the type of you. Can you enjoy? I say, perfect. And we have all kind of, it's a gamma, it's a family skincare. So it starts from cleaning,
sure,
serum, a mask, and it's really, really nice. Everyone can see it on my, they can shop via my Instagram. So
on your
Yeah.
Instagram page. I'll post that on my
Oh,
page
thank you very much,
afterwards,
Eddie. You
so
are
you
great.
can
Thank you.
so you can share that. So okay, so you're doing the modeling for the products, and I also know that you have another little hobby that you're busy with since a short time. You're
Yes.
actually trying to learn to play the piano, right?
Yes, yes. I also love music. So after this year of lockdown, I thought that I have to do something that I really give me happiness. I feel good with that, and it's music. So I have an artist soul. I can explain you. So I'm learning piano already around 8 months. It's not enough, but I'm sure I'm going to success. I'm going to go until the 5 years, and then you will see me somewhere in the jazz bar or things playing with the big guys, with all of you guys. I will support.
Well, we'll do something together then.
Before.
You have your son, and is he also interested in business? Or I know he's going to the international school here in Antwerp.
Yes, it's in the area of Capellen. He studied there.
Yeah.
Yes, he's learning. Yeah, he's now learning 4 languages, and yeah, so we are really busy with his
Wow.
project, and he's a hockey player. So we are busy. It's very busy for them. I know sometime maybe like I explained to him, maybe he's 10 years old. We are making too much pressure, but I say to him, and these days you have to learn the most when you have the time. Just do it, because when we are adult, we don't have the time anymore, and we have so many responsibility. I changed, like I say to you, I changed my whole life from Panama to Belgium, and because the rest of the country, they were just, I want to learn a little bit about culture and how it goes, and to be involved with different cultures and people. So for me, that was a lot of fun, a lot of international background. So I can,
Sure.
yes, I can feel the difference between when since when I was from in my country, and then now when I'm here and I'm available to speak with everyone, every culture.
Right.
So it's a big change, because I did my career as an engineer in Panama in the waste management, and this is a career that nobody going to left no, because just to go on the trip.
Right.
And so I did my challenge, and I say, yes, I can do it. I want to be in Europe. I want to be the center. I want to be in the center. I want to do something that I also help the countries to get involved, to meet together, people different world, and that's my new career right now. I'm 2 years in trading,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's important. So I connect companies and people just to get together and do their stuff. They do their business
That's their
collaboration, exactly.
collaboration.
And
Right.
that's the beautiful thing, to work with people and to help and to feel like you are part of big decision or small decisions. And then that's, for me, is a challenge. But I tell you the truth, is being is a challenge, and for all of us now with this situation, and we have to be strong and to take all the advantages what we have now, with opportunity. This is important right now. So I think all of us now, today is the new opening in Belgium. I'm very happy for the Belgian people and the rest of the people that we are also enjoying this country, and I feel like it's a new start. But it depends also in our mood and our energy and what we want to bring to our brothers and sisters, because we have to be part. We have to be together in this. We cannot be separate like before, with all this schedule ego and
Exactly.
and that's for me, and that's no, it should be, humanity should change complete the mentality. I'm sure we're going to get it. We're going to love all of us, and we're going to see what is the best for us. And for me, small steps, like my small company, I opened already 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
is that to bring people together
All right.
and to do great business and to do great opportunities. And even if it doesn't goes, you meet the people you know is for the future
Absolutely.
and go with it. Exactly.
I
So
like that positivity about creating a global village. That's very important.
exactly,
That's very
exactly.
important. Well, I've got one more question for you. Our theme for this week is called joyful. And I would like to know what joyful means for you.
But joyful for me is an expression, is a happiness, is the way you feel your energy, your thoughts, and when it comes to you, what's the first thing comes in my mind? What it makes you happy? See my son grow and see him healthy and see him happy, because it's like I say about the whole situation, what we are getting through to all these things in the planet, because yeah, sometimes we don't want to see things, but we have to enjoy the small moments, the present, and even if the future is also good, but to plan good things. But the most important to it's not about money, it's about the moments.
Absolutely.
So we have to be strong to get us in the good balance every day and to control our thought. And what me joyful is, for me, my son is everything. So for me, is this direction. I want to see my son in the good place in life, also for the heart. And that's joyful. One heart
Beautiful.
is heart.
Beautiful. What would you
Yeah.
advise, let's say, younger ladies, young girls that were growing up and want to get into modeling or even become a female entrepreneur as you? What would you advise them to do, especially in this day and time where everything is getting more and more?
Yes.
It's becoming in one way easy because we have the social media, but at the other way, it's creating a lot of competition, and it's making it quite difficult because the market is starting to really get flooded. So what would you advise them?
Yes, first of all, I want to talk about competition. There is no competition. It's you. It's you. There is no competition. You can do modeling, you can do business in every age. There is no block for that. What I can suggest to the young people today, women and men and everything, is that they has to take a step by step. They has to enjoy your age. They don't have to live the life as a woman. Don't do that. Do the things beautiful. Keep your things beautiful in life, because after 30 is another step. After 40 is another step. Live your moment, live your age in every single moment, every single step. Don't go across. Don't think because you have 22 or 25, you're going to dress and look like a woman of 40. No, don't do that, because you will regret. Because this is your moment, and your moment is to learn, to prepare yourself for the future. What is you? What is the 5 years you're going to be? Where are you going to be? That's the opportunity you have in your hands. That's the energy. That's the power. Young people can do a lot of stuff if they focus and the good things and the good thought, and surround the people that they can bring something good to you, no bad things. That's the most important what I can say to the young people, because I see they struggle, they see nobody talks, they see that also in our generation sometimes abuse the young people, and that's not correct. We should respect us. We should respect our generation. Just not because of us, is because we have kids, and we have we have to we have to respect that. And if the young people they are not correct, we are adults to say, please go on your place again. But for me, the happiness is the number one, more than the money, more than the luxury things, more than the traveling, more than the everything. Family, friends, studies. Focus, because the life goes too fast and everything goes. And when you look back, you say, I want to do that. And that's the way I say, it's always, this is the moment. This is the moment in 5 years where I'm going to be. And for me, I was a young age. I'm 22, I have business already. And I was doing modeling, but I was not crossing the line. And then there were a moment I want to conquer the world. And yes, now I'm here in Europe a long time. Why not? And still I feel young to do it. But I did my step, because if I didn't do what I did in Panama, today I have nothing. You understand? And that's why it's important that the young people understand that it's not even about money. What you are going to do, what you're going to learn, what is for you the most important.
Right.
And that's for me the best advice, Eddie. What I can say, we have kids, we cannot control everything.
That's true.
But at least we can do it with love. Eh?
That's absolutely.
Yes.
On those words, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your story, and throwing your positivity out to everyone.
Thank you.
I will post your information on my page so people can look you up and get in contact with you, and keep sharing that love and positivity. A lot of love to you. I'm sure we'll see each other in the future again. Do some more photography and just to talk and with the nice weather and spread that positive energy.
Yeah, we will see your pictures on the media soon.
Okay.
Thank you for calling me, and have a beautiful day.
Okay, a lot of love to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is MPP, and I'm Eddie C. Well, I enjoyed all three of those conversations once again. I know I say that basically every week, but I really do enjoy it because it is joyful to talk with these people and get their different perspectives of how they see the thing that we're going to be talking about each week. You know, being joyful is something which is so wonderful to pass on to people. And on that note, here's my quote. Joyful. Waking up in the morning and feeling gratitude about your presence and what you can bring to this day. Taking a walk with your dog or with a friend and enjoying the moments together. Watching your child develop to become a younger version of the goodness you still give to those that you meet. Closing your eyes with a joyful feeling of fulfillment, love, and peace. Well, that's about it for this week's show, ladies and gentlemen. But before I go, I'd like to thank Sandra Bakker, Sandor Streef, and Michelle Dapena for coming on and sharing their joyful stories with us today. And remember, it doesn't have to be a holiday to be joyful. Until next time. You can find me on all platforms like Spotify, Android, and Apple. On Facebook, look for My Positive Podcast, and my website is mypositivepodcast.com. You can also contact me via my website or Facebook. A very special thanks to my technical producer, Iswan. This show is a production by Antwerp Podcast Service. My name is Eddie C., and this was MPP, My Positive Podcast. Tune in next week and stay positive.